Today we're gonna go over 5 commonly asked questions when people are bringing a new dog into their home. So the first question is from Rachel in Cleveland, and it's, can dogs go on the furniture? And the simple answer is yeah. Do it. Let them on the couch. Let them come and snuggle with you. Mine all snuggle with me on the couch. So yeah, dogs are definitely allowed to go on the furniture. We limit our dogs to coming into our house to 1,500, 2,500 square feet. And you're going to tell them that they can't go on a quarter of that, no bed, no furniture. So I guess the simple answer is, yeah, they can go on the furniture unless you're dealing with a more severe problem, resource guarding or inner canine aggression or human directed aggression. But if your dog isn't exhibiting any of these really problematic behaviors, then can they go on your bed? Of course they can. Can they go on the couch? Of course they can. Okay, so Ashley in Florida says, what behaviors do I train when I bring a new dog into my house? There are 5 behaviors that I will say that every dog should be trained, and it's sit, down, stay, a recall, or come, and a go lay down or an on your place. The coolest thing is if you teach those in that order, they ultimately build up to that last behavior. So a sit, everybody kind of understands. Sit down. Come is really important, one, for in the home, but mostly for safety. You always want your dog to have a really solid recall behavior. Stay is always helpful, but that go lay down behavior, something that I'll talk about a lot, an incompatible behavior. Every time you want to say no to your dog, the next thing you should think is, what could my dog be doing instead of what they're doing to make me say no? So for instance, a really easy example of an incompatible behavior, if your dog jumps on you every time you come into the door, if you ask them to sit every time you come into the door and give them that attention, they cannot sit and jump at the same time. You've given them an incompatible behavior. Okay, the next question is from Jonathan in Seattle. What do you think about dog parks? That is so loaded. Dog parks can be the most valuable resource for some dogs, and dog parks can be really overwhelming and very scary for other dogs. When people are letting their animals be unsupervised and uncontrolled. So when I go and I see a dog humping a lot of other dogs, humping is really a sign of overstimulation most of the time. And that dog owner is not checking that dog and making sure that dog is being respectful of the other dogs in that space. Then I know that's probably not the time of day that I want to be there, or maybe not even the dog park. I live in Tucson, Arizona. We have a ton of dog parks in different parts of town. I know what dog parks that I recommend for my clients, and I know what dog parks that I will frequent at what time of day. The other thing that I get asked a lot is, well, I don't want my dog to get sick from a dog park. And that's totally fine. And that's a question for you and your vet. But something to remember is that when you go to a dog park, it's your responsibility to have your dog up to date on vaccines. And it's your job to make sure that your dog is up to date on anti-parasitics. So those are all things that are meant to protect your dog. But just remember, it's okay if not every dog is meant to go to a dog park, or you haven't found a dog park that's the perfect match for you. So Danny from Arizona says, I have a really reactive dog and walking him's not fun. Where do I start? That is like the sunrise and the sunset club. You'll notice that a lot of people who have really reactive dogs, they've learned that they want to walk at times when nobody else is walking. Everybody else is walking on weekends, first of all. And then everybody else is walking after they eat breakfast. So you need to get up at 5 a.m., friend, and you're going to start walking before anybody else is out there. Because realistically, what dogs are reactive to is they are reactive to dogs behind fence lines. They're reactive to other dogs being walked, and they're reactive to people. And then sometimes bikes can be really triggering, right? But they're not really reactive to a quiet neighborhood walk. So the best way for you to start, one, incompatible behaviors, like I talked about before. If your dog is really reactive and they're looking for reinforcement, the best thing that we can do is give them something incompatible that they can still gain reinforcement from. And what is that? A watch me or a target. If you give that dog a watch me or a target that he can do and he can get reinforced for that, then it's really easy to get their attention off of a distraction. Now, the key with that is if you're walking when nobody else is walking, now your distractions are going to be limited to maybe dogs barking in windows or dogs barking behind a fence. That's a lot easier to start working on. So we're going to start working on stimulus that's a little bit less distracting. And then you're going to start working up towards walking past people. And then you're going to start working past successfully walking with, past people walking with their dogs. But the trick is to give them an incompatible behavior. You want them to be successful. You want to be able to ask your dog to do something and give them a chance to win, or what's the point of going for a walk? So with a reactive dog, you want to walk really, really early in the morning, and you want to do those flashlight walks at night when nobody else is there. Ray in California says, what's your biggest pet peeve in training? Retractable leashes. I hate a retractable leash. Retractable leashes are so dangerous on so many levels for people that are holding the retractable leash, the dog on the receiving end of the retractable leash, and then everybody else around them. Every owner that comes into a vet clinic with a retractable leash, that dog has wrapped themselves around every chair in that lobby, every dog in that lobby. People that use retractable leashes when they're walking in neighborhoods, they let their dogs run up to everyone. And I love dogs, obviously, like by what I do. I don't like when dogs go running up to me, running up to my kids, and running up to my dogs when it's an unprompted visit. Dogs that are on retractable leashes sit at like a 20-foot radius around their owner, doing everything but walking in the direction they're supposed to be doing and paying attention to the owner that's supposed to be walking them. They create such unruly beasts of dogs. If you have any questions that you're burning to know the answer on, and they have anything to do with animal rescue, animal behavior, training, and behavior modification, drop your questions in the comments below, and maybe those will be on the next video.